Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for Trojans to Know. I am here with some amazing people that are going to introduce themselves along the way, but we're going to first go ahead and get started with our very first guest speaker. I am here to just say hello to you. My name is Jen McDonald. I'm with Orientation and Transition. I also have with me Miss Leah Ford, and she is here today from the Ask Desk. So she's able to answer any of your questions as well. But today I'm going to start you off with a friend of mine. He recently went on a big trip that I just can't wait to hear more about. But Mr. Corrigan Revels is from our Student Experience Center. Corrigan?
Hello, my name is Corrigan Revels, as Jen mentioned, and I am the Assistant Director for Student Leadership and Development. And I was asked to come along today to talk about life outside of the college classroom and just the overall student experience. One of the things that I get to enjoy in my role is being able to serve you in the capacity of putting on great events along with the leadership and advising of you all. Um, the events are for you all. We're just here to support and help. And so we just want to make sure that you are enjoying those. And so I'm basically here to just help guide you, keep you in the right way, and just make sure that you're getting everything that you asked for, or if we have to make alterations to it, that we still do that and not give you a no. I'm here to find more of a yes or another way of doing things instead of giving a no. And so when I was in undergrad, I'm a proud alum of UA Little Rock. I had an awesome time by being a part of UPC, which is now named the Student Activities Board. And mainly that organization is led by student leaders like you all will be. And that is putting on different events for the student body. And so that may be concerts, it may be game nights, it may be comedians, movie nights, whatever that the student leaders feel, along with the student members, feel that it's something that can be enjoyable for you to be a part of. That is what that organization is all about. And so that kind of leads to the bigger piece of what I'm, being asked to come here today is like the side hustle. So yeah, it can be a side hustle, as in it can give you something else to do outside the classroom, but not just something, but something that that's enjoyable and on top of that, help you develop as well. And so whether you're putting it on a cultural event based on different ethnic groups or beliefs or sexual orientation, whatever the case may be, those programs and those events that you join in and be a part of, or you put on yourself, that can help with the development, and on top of that, you can enjoy it as well. And so when we say side hustles, sometimes those positions can get paid. So Student Activities Board, those leaders are paid a stipend each year for leading the organization and taking a very important role when it comes to uplifting and guiding the student experience and serving as a peer to the student body, and not just leaving all the responsibilities on us to be able to come up with things that y'all are going to enjoy. Because if we do the wrong thing, then it's our fault. But if you do it, and it's kind of like then we're like, well, hey, we're supporting what you want to do and stuff. And so everything is a trial and error, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that just goes along within a development piece. Going back to when I was an undergraduate student, to kind of give you an idea of things that you'll be able to do as you grow here at the university. I was crazy enough my senior year to have like 5 part-time responsibilities as a student leader. So I was a part of the media crew for the basketball games. I was one of the leaders for the Children International Organization, which is a great organization to work for and volunteer for as well. I was a part of intramural sports from like my sophomore year on out. And I grew a lot in that when it came to tolerance and being patient and learning, and even culturally as well when it comes to different perspectives of different sports that intramural sports provide. So that is another thing to keep in mind as well. I was a mentor in the African American Male Initiative Program. And then I was also a part of what I mentioned earlier, the Universal Program Council, which is now known as the Student Activities Board. So I was everywhere, right? Including being a full-time student and personal life and everything like that. I was in a lot, but those were the side hustles. But those side hustles helped me to be able to connect, be able to learn about different cultures, and also being able to grow within my own perspective when it came to my major. I earned a bachelor's degree in film. I am a filmmaker outside of being in higher ed. And so, with being in those different capacities, I'm able to build on my portfolio, whether I was doing things for Greek life, whether I was taking pictures for different events on campus. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, with the media crew, that was a really cool experience, especially getting knocked over by basketball players, dunking everywhere and stuff. So it was a really cool experience. And so um, sometimes being able to put yourself in a position to be able to not only, of course, make a little money along the way and keep and save your gas money because you'll be able to make all the money on campus, but also you're able to develop relationships, and those relationships can grow into reference letters or references that can help you get those scholarships because scholarships is always available. It doesn't stop after you graduate high school; they're still available, and we're thankful for our donors and alumni association that are able to support those opportunities for you all. It is for you. And so, and I was blessed to be able to be a part of receiving those back when I was in undergrad as well. And so building those relationships with your faculty, as far as joining organizations that's within um, your academic department and also outside the classroom, it can be very beneficial for you. It helps you develop relationships that you will never know where it would lead you. The funny thing is about my role right now, I used to be a student leader in the same capacity, and now the fact that I'm leading it with my, as my counterpart, like Emily, that used to lead it as well. It's very neat to be able to be in a situation where it's like a full circle to lead as a student, but now I'm leading as a professional. And so I get to see it on both sides, and that just shows that you never know where life may take you. And so just remembering the areas that you hustle in, or the areas that you're a member of, or whatever the case may be, it can lead you to places that you never would have thought. And as long as you keep a good impression in those areas, that's the biggest thing. I was talking to someone not too long ago. They mentioned about how you never know where somebody's going to know of you or know somebody that you may know, and what they may say and stuff like that. And I mentioned about how either I saw it on TV or something about how you never know where, well, your name will travel farther than you ever will physically. It will go into rooms that you never have been to and probably never will be in, conversations that you never probably be a part of. But it's all about, what does your name represent? If your name represents hard work, consistency, um, loyalty, those are good qualities, and it keeps going. But those are three good qualities that will keep things going along for you in a positive way, and it can help you. It's one thing to hustle, but when you really slow down, get things from it, and everything, it can really lead to some really good things that can impact your life very big. And so I say all that to say that, just make sure that you're taking advantage of every opportunity outside the classroom as well as inside the classroom, because both of those come together. We're big on working from the student affairs side to the academic side. And so I truly believe, as long as you take advantage of those spaces and hustling your little self out, that you will be able to not only enjoy, but grow tremendously while you're here at the university. That's all for me.
Way to go, Corgan. Dropping some words of wisdom on us, like always. I really appreciate that. I think a lot of that stuck with me too, especially the part where you said your name will enter rooms that you will never enter. That's really good to know. Even as a student, we have student workers who are making incredible things happen, and their name is being talked about too. So great advice. All right, up next, we have another awesome speaker, Sharon Downs. She's going to talk to us a little bit about Safe Zone and welcoming our LGBTQ family.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jen, and good job, Corgan. So yeah, Safe Zone. Well, first of all, let me just say I'm an assistant vice chancellor in student affairs, but I'm one of the founding members of Safe Zone. That's probably what I'm proudest of. This started several years ago at UALR. And it has elevated to a university committee, which is in the organizational chart, and it reports to me now. So that all worked out really well. So the purpose of Safe Zone, which you may or may not be familiar with, the purpose is to provide education to employees of the university, faculty and staff, so that they know how best to interact with LGBTQ students and colleagues. But really our focus is students. The training is pretty arduous. It's 4 hours all in one day. And we talk about different aspects of sexuality on the continuum. We talk about gender identity on the continuum. We talk about gender nonconformity. Basically a lot of education, because people seem to know these words, but they don't have a really deep understanding of what they mean. And then we talk about some of the harmful legislation, especially lately. We have a lot to talk about, sadly, in Arkansas. And then efforts that others are doing to help mitigate that. We want to make sure LGBTQ students know that this is a welcoming place. And there are a lot of people who've been Safe Zone trained. The last aspect of the training is how to be an ally. A lot of people say they're an ally, but we give you some real kind of hands-on skills so that you can be an ally rather than just using that as a gold star. I'm an ally. Being an ally is not an event. You don't go through the training and suddenly you're an ally. Being an ally requires continuous work all the time, every day, when you learn something new, to incorporate that information, to ask questions, to be humble. So Safe Zone, I think, really helps people get a good start on that path. I approach this from my positionality of being a cisgender heterosexual woman. I became very passionate about this area and about this community for several reasons. And about 10 years into it, a couple of people in my family came out. One is trans. And so they came out to me because they knew that I was educated about this stuff, and I was an ally, and I worked every day to be a good ally. So it's interesting, going through this training really has changed lives. People in my life and other people who've been trained, they have people on campus they can talk to, people they know who are knowledgeable and open to visiting with them. Perhaps if they're feeling excluded or they feel like there aren't enough queer spaces on campus. When people go through the training, they get a Safe Zone sticker, which you'll see right there. There's Magnet. And I put that in my background very intentionally. But basically, this is a sticker that goes on the door. So anyone who's been through the 4-hour training, they've been through the training, they've had an opportunity to ask questions. They have sat through a couple of, I think, really interesting panels. We have one of allies, and they can tell their story, how and when and why they became an ally. And then they can ask questions. And then the other panel during this training is the most powerful part. And that is, we have an LGBTQ panel, and they tell their story, any story they want that just kind of helps, that emblemizes kind of their experience being on this campus, if they're on this campus, being in Arkansas, how they've been received, struggles that they've had, things they wish allies knew. That's a big one right there. So so they go through all this training, and then at the end we have an agreement, and it has a long list of things that check off. I agree to, I don't have them memorized. I agree to be an ally to LGBTQ students. I agree to be intentional about using inclusive pronouns in my interactions on campus, on and on like that. So if they sign that agreement, then they get a sticker that looks like this, and it goes on their door. So it's a very outward sign of some very inward education that has happened. So if you're LGBTQ and you're on our campus, you'll see these stickers in lots of places. We've trained, oh gosh, like 150 people over the years. Some have left the university, and we always take those stickers down. But yeah, that's who you can look for. And some departments have the sticker on their homepage and on their front door to their suite of offices. And we only do that for areas where everyone in there has been trained. So for instance, when you go to health services, everyone in there has gone through the training. Counseling services, same thing. So it's on their homepages at the bottom in the footer. So if you're online and looking at their information, you can see, okay, everyone in here is someone I can speak with about my questions or my concerns. And then also when you approach the door, you'll see that it's on the outer door as well as the inner doors. So we believe visibility is probably the most important thing in terms of representation on campus, so that people understand that we have a lot of queer and LGBTQ people on campus. We have a lot of students. So I want to make sure I make this point, because oftentimes students come from maybe smaller communities in Arkansas where they feel like they're the only gay or lesbian or trans person in their town. And some of these smaller towns and some bigger towns have strong opinions about that. And so maybe you've gotten a negative message your whole life about your reality, who you are inside. And so coming to college can be a real epiphany, because you're going to meet your people. This is where you meet your people. UALR has a good sized population of LGBTQ students. And again, visibility is everything. We have a student group called the Alliance. They have not been as active the last couple of years. Of course, nobody has with the pandemic. But anyone who's interested in joining it or helping to restart it should contact Corgan. Who would they contact in your office?
Yeah, so they can reach out to myself or just generally the Student Experience Center. Just email us. And if you're trying to get contact with current members, or just in general want to know more information, just feel free to reach out to us.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So we want new blood in that organization. We've done some amazing things in the past. They had a closet built that we would pull out for every orientation or any new student activity or welcome week, and we would pull it out and be one of the tables out in the brick area out here, and it's painted fabulously. And people would stand in the doorway and hold a sign that says, ally, gay, trans, whatever. And then we would have these posters where people could fill in the information, like I feel safe on campus when. That would be the prompt, and they would fill it in and take a picture of themselves with it. We post that all over our social media, again, because visibility is so important. We also, in addition to Safe Zone, the Diversity Council, University-wide council, does a survey every 2 years, the Campus Climate Survey. And we do pay special attention to questions about the LGBTQ experience on campus. We just got the draft of the one that was done this past spring. I haven't read it yet, it's still in my inbox. But what we do is we take all that information, both the qualitative and quantitative, and then channel it into recommendations for the chancellor. So that comes from the Diversity Council. The Diversity Council also takes that information and uses it in their strategic planning for the year. So there may be some things that bubble to the surface in this survey that maybe they're new and we realize there are things that we need to address, or they'll be referred to the Safe Zone committee, either one. But both Diversity Council and Safe Zone focuses on issues related to LGBTQ. Safe Zone also, we've had a lot of requests for training for students. Safe Zone wasn't really designed for that because again, we're training employees so that they can have a physical marker on their physical space. But we are exploring ways that we can provide some training to students in a way that makes sense. It probably will look different than what we do for employees. Safe Zone didn't do any trainings at all last year because of the coronavirus. And we made a decision not to do any online trainings because the topic is, it's a sensitive topic. People kind of have to get out of their comfort zone. I mean, that's my goal anyway, is to get everybody completely out of their comfort zone. And so it felt more meaningful for us to continue to have it in person, face to face. And so we're going to be starting that up again this year. And we are listening to the students. We're working on putting something together for students and what that might look like. I would love your input on developing that, because I want to give the students everything that they need to either understand how to be a good ally, or if you're in the LGBTQ community, to I don't know, just expand your reach on campus, help influence policy. There are a lot of ways that you can get plugged in. My contact information is on the Safe Zone page. It's all over the place. It's sadowns@ualr.edu, SA for Sharon Ann. Please reach out to me. And also I'll say, if you are an LGBTQ person who's coming to UALR and you have been rejected by your family, which sadly happens, congratulations, I'm your new mom. So you just contact me, all right? And I'm here for you 100%. My office is in the Donaghy Student Center on the second floor in the Vice Chancellor's office, 215. So you just come see me, okay? And I will help you get plugged in myself personally. The LGBTQ community is near and dear to my heart. And I want to do everything that I can to help that community flourish on campus and to help us become a model for other universities in the state. So, all right. So what questions does anyone on the panel have? Anything at all? I did a lot of talking.
That was fabulous. Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate not only the work you do, but the enthusiasm you have for it as well. And one of my favorite things about this campus is the diversity on campus, by age, by race, by history, background. Everything is just so new and fresh, and people are so willing to share their story. And so I really appreciate that. And I encourage all new students to ask people about their story and to ask, where they come from, what made them who they are. And those are always really interesting responses.
Absolutely.
Okay, up next, we have another awesome person, and his name is Reed Claiborne. He is an adventurous soul, and so he's going to be talking to us a little bit about what there is to do in Little Rock if you want to go out of doors.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to try to share a screen and let me know if this comes up properly. So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, anyway, my name is Reed Claiborne. I'm the director of the Disability Resource Center. I've been in Little Rock for a little over 9 years, and I come from East Tennessee. And when I was looking for places to apply, there was a few things that I had to make sure were in place. I wanted to make sure that they had my sport. Yeah, they have ice hockey here in Arkansas. I know, weird. If you have questions about that, let me know, but I'm not going to talk about that. But I also wanted to make sure that they had music and also a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of things to do. And we are here at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, and we talk about it being an urban institution. But one of the great things about Little Rock and it being an urban institution is we are surrounded by all this nature. And this nature is literally right at our fingertips. So, here, this is a picture of the Donaghy Student Center and the Student Services building right next door. This was taken in the fall of last year. And, so we get some really good nature shots. Oops. All right, starting to having some problems with, there we go. Okay. And then here's Coleman Creek, and we just walk across the bridge to the parking deck. Sometimes you get some amazing views of this creek, and it is right here on campus. And I have lost my cursor, so my adventure should be outside. All right, there we go. And then literally on the other side of the parking lot, next to public safety on a Fair Park, is the University Garden. The University Garden, they have honeybees. Here's a bumblebee, but it is a beautiful garden. They grow spinach, onions, peppers, hot peppers, just about anything that you can think of right here on this campus. And they are always looking for volunteers to help mow the lawn or help plant plants or to help harvest anything that's going on. It seems like weekly they are having some sort of plant sale that's going on, and a lot of times those vegetables may be going over to the maybe donated to the university for other people so that they can have. So if you're interested right here on campus, you can go up to the university gardens, and if you have any questions, let me know and I'll point you in the right direction. And so let's just say we're staying here in Little Rock. Here's a picture of the Clinton Bridge. This is in downtown Little Rock, and this was taken early in the morning. I don't know why I was up at this hour, but I was able to catch a pretty good sunset. And what's the great thing about the Clinton Bridge? It's a beautiful area. You have the Clinton Library that's right there, but this also leads to the North Little Rock Trail. So somebody in theory, well, not really in theory, they do it every day, can be on a bicycle, they could walk. If somebody's using a wheelchair, they can take this path all the way to deep West Little Rock with very little traffic interference. And so this is, and there's a walkway down here. And if you want to keep that urban nature sort of thing going, you can go get it, but there is some construction right now. So that might not be the best right now, but it will be in, hopefully soon. And as you're going down the North Little Rock River Trail, there's a lot of bikers, a lot of runners. Arkansas has some of the best sunsets I've ever seen. And I've been in a lot of places, and there are some days you just have to stop and just watch it come in. This sunset here, it lasted maybe about 5 minutes, and I was lucky enough just to happen to have a cell phone camera with me, took that picture, and in 5 minutes later, it was completely gone. And so to be able to get out and about, and sometimes you have to do it a lot, you can catch some of the most breathtaking scenes that you can see. And this is about maybe 15 minutes from campus, and that's because you have stoplights to get there. Go just a little further up the road on the river trail. This is Emerald Park, and there's a 1 mile hike to get up to this point. It's a really rocky hike to get up here. But if you don't feel like making that hike, there's also a road, Fort Roots, that goes up to this very place. So if somebody's would rather walk, take a bicycle or whatever, they can get up very close to this place and get some amazing views of the Arkansas River, downtown Little Rock, and it's just a really great place to be. 4th of July, I have a feeling it's going to be packed because I know they're going to be able to see the fireworks coming up here pretty soon. Little further down the trail, this is a picture I got of the Big Dam Bridge. Kind of get an idea that I like sunsets and sunrises. The Big Dam Bridge is, I believe, the second longest pedestrian bridge in the country. You see all types of people over there. You see people on bicycles. You see people walking. You see people pushing strollers, people in wheelchairs, people on crutches. It's a fully accessible area. The views from up here during certain times of the day are amazing. You can also see the big river barges come through because it is a dam and lock. And so that's where a lot of the big barges will come through, and you could see that happen. I don't know. I just think that's kind of interesting. And my computer's doing the same thing again. There we go. Okay. Just literally a mile down the road, this takes you over to the Two Rivers Park area. The Two Rivers Park area, they have so many things going on. They have rowing, and I'm not sure if this shows up well on the screen. They also have incredible views of Pinnacle Mountain. I was just lucky to catch this picture. And also over here, there are so many biking opportunities. If anybody likes to mountain bike, likes to road bike, there are so many trails. The river trail will literally take you all the way to Two Rivers. And I believe that's about 15 miles, I'm guessing, you know, from the Clinton Bridge all the way to this area and to come back. Actually, I think it's more like 20. So you can get as much or as little exercise. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. Keep going a little further. There is a little bit of travel on the road to get to Pinnacle Mountain. There is a race that's coming up. It's called Race the Base. I don't know what these things are on this strange person right there. But this race, they do this every year. It's about a 4-mile race that goes around the base of Pinnacle Mountain. It starts early in the morning. I've done this race a couple times and it is so much fun. And running on a trail is great because, believe it or not, it's easier on the joints, and the camaraderie and the after party that starts about 10 in the morning. It's a great time. If you have questions about the Race the Base, let me know. And on top of Pinnacle Mountain, you have incredible views of the Arkansas River, and there are so many birds up there. I didn't know that a turkey vulture could be pretty cool. I think this is a pretty good shot. I'm bragging on myself. Lots of people up there. And if you do go up there, do take some water if you're not used to hiking steep trails, because it is a workout, but it is a beautiful place for people to go hang out. Like I said, there are tons of biking opportunities over here. And if somebody's into mountain biking, Pinnacle Mountain and the Pinnacle Mountain State Park, they have a trail system over there that has been professionally installed. It's not one of these old school places. The trails can be as easy or as difficult as you want. Burns Park, very technical, but there's a lot of trails over there. And Two Rivers, there's also a new trail system that was just installed. And over at Two Rivers, they also have a place where you can rent bicycles for road biking and for mountain biking. And I think I saw in the news the other day that they may take someone to the top of the hill at Two Rivers so you can ride down. I don't know about you, riding downhill is a lot more fun than riding uphill. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about here. Down in Hot Springs, we're getting a little bit outside of the Little Rock area, about an hour away. There's some really good trails at Cedar Glades and Northwood. And Hot Springs, again, just maybe about 30 minutes to an hour outside of town. There are lakes, shops, lots of things to do. Sleepy Hollow is a little bit further past Pinnacle Mountain down Highway 10. You get some just amazing water over here, great wildlife, and cypress trees, honey tupelos. And Arkansas is loaded with this type of, these type of trees. And you can see these trees over at the Little Maumelle, and that's over at Two Rivers. You got to paddle a little bit over there. Sleepy Hollow. And this is the Grassy Lake Water Trail. This is Mayflower. This is just up the road a little bit. The Grassy Lake Water Trail is really open during the spring and in the winter. Sounds a little crazy to get on the water in the winter, but this is probably the best time because you can imagine how many bugs are out there. But it's really neat, and this is a trail. So each one of the trees, or there are trails that you follow, and on some of the trees, you'll see a blue blaze. And this is a 3-mile loop that you use a canoe or a kayak to go through. It's easy to get lost, so don't go alone. Pinnacle Mountain, they do a New Year's float every year. And this picture was probably about 45 degrees. And it was one of the most fun things that I have ever done. There were about 50 boats out that day. And we floated from Pinnacle Mountain down to the ranch. And I think it may have been about a 4 or 5 mile float. They had, some people had brought hot chocolate and any of the drinks that you wanted to bring just to kind of keep yourself warm. The Arkansas area has a lot of water. There's the Arkansas River, but if somebody wants to float a little bit more, talked about the Little Maumelle, that's pretty still water. The Ouachita River, which is down in Malvern, just south of here, about 30 minutes. It's a dam-fed river, which means that water is super cold, but there's always going to be water in it. It moves pretty fast. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of people that are out there. A lot of people get on inner tubes, they get canoes, they get in kayaks, and at the very end, there's some class 2 and 3 rapids. So want to be careful out there if you're not really familiar with those waters. But if you have questions about that, do not hesitate to let me know. And some of the beautiful rivers in the area are the rain-dependent rivers. The Saline River, just south of here a little bit, they have rentals available. The Cadron, typically March through June is the time that the water runs. If it's not raining, they're not going to have enough water, but it is so much fun. Class 2 and 3 rapids, they have rentals available. They will shuttle you. And then there's the Middle Fork of the Little Red. That's up in Shirley. It's a little bit further away. Again, class 2 and 3 rapids. Most people can handle those. And when I was up there a few weeks ago, we had 5 bald eagle sightings. You know, don't get to see those that often. So there's a lot of bald eagles in the area. And when we were out there, there were not many people. So you feel like you have the river all to yourself. And further out, there's the Buffalo. Rentals are available, and this is the part of the Buffalo National Park river system. It's a big river, but it is rain dependent, and there are a lot of put-ins and takeouts, and rentals are available. And if you look at the Buffalo River, you're going to find outfitters. And then finally, one of my favorite places, it's easy to get to, it's a little far away though, is the Caddo, and they provide rental canoes, kayaks, shuttling, and just a lot of fun. So if anybody's into the outdoors a little bit, these are some places that you can go. Right now, I've been doing a lot of canoeing and kayaking and biking and in Arkansas, and literally just in the Little Rock area has so much to offer. And if you have any questions about any of that, don't hesitate to let me know. Oh, I forgot about this. If you're into camping or anything like that, Haw Creek Falls. This is a little bit further away, but there are beautiful waterfalls in the area. If you are interested in going on short hikes, big hikes, Haw Creek Falls, Petit Jean Mountain has a wonderful waterfall. I'm not sure if I have it in here, which I do not. And I think that is the end of the slideshow. And those are pictures that I've taken over the last few years since I've been here, and I've had a great time. And if you are into the outdoors, have any interest in getting into the outdoors, do not hesitate to let me know. So hey, with Reed, that, does anybody have questions?
I just wanted to say you outed yourself as a non-native Arkansan when you said saline. It's saline. Also, okay. I wanted to say your photography skills are incredible.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Your blue heron is still my screensaver.
Oh, is it?
Good job.
Yeah. So I hope I think I probably took a little more time than I intended to, and I apologize.
Well, thank you so much, Reed. I knew you were the right person to talk about this because you get out there, you have some fun, you find some beautiful places, and I've always enjoyed hearing your story. So thank you for sharing that with our new students. Mm-hmm. All right, last but not least, we have my friend, Lauren Wilson. Take it over, Lauren.
Thanks, Jen. So as Jen said, my name is Lauren Wilson. I am the Assistant Director of the Multicultural Center. And one of the things, or I guess really the only thing that I want to talk to you about today is some cheat codes to level up your first year at UA Little Rock. So maybe as Gen Zers, y'all do not even say cheat code or level up, but I'm gonna tell you about it anyway. And you can translate it to whatever Gen Z language that y'all want to use. So my first one, and you're gonna hear this, I don't even know how many times you're gonna hear this, but I'm gonna tell you either for the first time or the 15th time to get involved. That's like the #1 cheat code to make sure you get the most out of your first year of college. So for me, the way that I got involved my first year was to follow the free food. I promise y'all, there were so many events that I went to just because there was free food or there was free t-shirts or it just said it was free. And I was like, if it's free, it's for me. And I would go for the food, even as a professional, I still do that. Like pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, when stuff opens back up, I check my email every day. And if something is like, it's free food, I'm gone. However, even if I would just go for the free food, oftentimes I would leave either with new connections or new information, meeting somebody who I was like, oh, I have a question about such and such. I met that person when I went to go get the free food at this program. So listen, follow the free food that will lead you to getting involved, that will lead you to really meeting people who will help you throughout your first year. as the assistant director of the Multicultural Center, one of the things that I do is plan a lot of events and programs, especially for cultural celebrations like Hispanic Heritage Month and Black History Month. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm gonna be trying to bribe y'all with the free food. And if that gets you in the door, but then when you get there and you get your plate or your plates, whatever, I'm no judgment here. I like to eat also. But I hope I can get you in the door with the food that you will leave either with some new information or some new connections that will help you. I am not above the bribery. I'm just gonna tell y'all right now, come for the food. You will not be disappointed, okay? So the second one is to get a squad, a community, a friend group, a village, whatever you wanna call it, you've got to find your people. So I know for me, I graduated from a small high school in Southeast Arkansas. It was like 141 of us. So some people like, oh, that's big. Some people like, oh, that's tiny. But when I went to college, it was me and 2 other guys from my high school. That was it. And we were not even running in the same circles when we got to college. So I was like by myself. And at that time, I was like, I have to meet new people. Like, that's not my thing. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody new. No, thank you. But when I followed the food, and I ended up getting involved in different programs and going to different events and meeting people, then I kind of started assembling my squad. And that is something that I've continued to do, like really anytime you're in a new space, but especially when you're in college, when you start finding the people who you can relate to, who can help you or who you can help. It's not always about what other people can do for you, but you may end up finding that you can serve as a resource to other people as well. So by getting involved early, you know, you're looking at different opportunities, you're looking at different organizations like Corrigan mentioned, Student Activities Board, or he can also connect you with other student organizations on campus. Doing that early will really help you to level up your first year, but also that's going to take you through all of your years until you get that degree. One of the things that we do, or actually a couple of programs that we have that can kind of help you find your squad members. The big one is the Sadie Mentoring Program, which I mentioned last. But we also have 2 programs. One is called First Fridays at the MC. So I'll refer to the Multicultural Center as the MC. And with First Fridays, the plan, it's the first Friday, it's at lunchtime. I will be having food because we will be in person, I'm just saying. But if you come, those are times for us to kind of just like more informally connect. We may have some folks talking about like, we had to do it virtually last year, of course, and we would talk about like mental health, taking care of our mental health. We talk about study tips and skills. We had someone from Campus Living come talk about how to be an RA. We had someone talk about how to find money for grad school. You know, like, oh, I just got here. I'm not thinking about grad school, but you might be. You just come for the food and get the information. You never know when you're going to need it later. So that's what we do at First Fridays. And then we also have Sadie reality checks. And reality checks is when we do a little more of a deep dive into a topic that's relevant to you. So anything from time management to self-care to communication to money management. That was like one of the most popular ones that we did last year. But it's just coming and getting that information. And those are done by faculty and staff members. So not only are you getting to meet other incoming students like you or current students who can kind of help you, like they've been where you are and they can help you, but also faculty and staff members who can serve as resources to you as well. So get you a squad, y'all take the squad, y'all go get the food, y'all all gonna level up together. And my third cheat code for having the best first year possible is to get at least one mentor. And if you join Sadie, you're going to get a team of mentors, but at least one. So Sadie is an acronym. It stands for the Student Affairs Diversity Initiative. And honestly, that's the favorite part of my job is running Sadie and being able to connect incoming students with a team of mentors. As a freshman in college, I was connected with the mentoring program that first year. And even though I was assigned mentors, I also found unofficial mentors who I was not necessarily assigned to, but I was drawn towards. And they were students, but they were also faculty and staff members. And through Sadie, you get a team of student and faculty and staff mentors. But it's just also about connecting into the Sadie squad and into the Sadie community. And it's not even just, oh, well, I have been assigned like 1, 2, 3, however many mentors, but you continue to come to programs and you knowing like on this list, oh, well, I see Corrigan is on this list and he works with Student Activities Board. And I think I want to get involved with that. So I could probably talk to him because, you know, he's open to mentoring. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. While Sadie is designed to support African American and Hispanic Latinx students, the programs that we do, like I mentioned, the reality check, the first Fridays at the MC, that's for everybody. So if you're just trying to find people, you're trying to find something to do, come to the Multicultural Center. We are on the, it's like, where are we? I'm sitting here looking outside. Well, we're on the second floor of Ottenheimer Library. So we're right in the middle of campus. When you come to the second floor, you see the double doors right across from the elevator. And that's where we are. And if you were just like, you know what, Lauren, I heard you say a whole bunch of stuff. You mentioned something about cheat codes and you mentioned something about food and something about mentoring. But like, I forgot everything you just said. Then your fourth cheat code, and this is a bonus, is just to get to know me. Send an email to multicultural@ualr.edu. Ask for Lauren. I will respond, and we'll see what it is that you need. Oftentimes, the biggest cheat code that you can have is just to find the one person who could connect you to everybody else. And I can do that for you. I know all these folks on these screens, and so if it's like, oh, Jen, oh, Sharon, Reed, Corrigan, I have somebody who needs your help, and I'm gonna send you that way. So if you don't remember anything else, remember to get connected to me, if that's the person, or really anybody on this screen. That's it. I don't actually have a cute little ending. Take advantage of your cheat codes. Email me at multicultural@ualr.edu. Get to the food, and you're welcome in advance.
I love that ending. That's kind of how I like to end too. I'm just like, yep, that's it. There it goes. Mic drop. We're over. I just wanted to thank everybody for speaking and joining us on this Trojans to Know. I really enjoyed listening to everybody, and I'm sure it'll be really great information for our students too. A couple of things that I wanted to remind students: you can finish your orientation, do your orientation, complete it, whatever you need to do. If you've already started it, you go to orientation.ualr.edu. It's an online orientation, so it's virtual. And if you have any questions about it afterwards, you can reach out. We are also at the Ask Desk Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So if you need to take care of any business items as far as financial aid, admissions records, any of the things are available. You can also call us at 916-3000, or you can email us at ask@ualr.edu. We can help you with all the things: orientation, Ask Desk. We can get you connected with anybody, point you in the right direction for sure. So that is that. And I wanted to thank everybody for being on this Trojans to Know, and that's it. So have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Thanks.